The power of motivation, igniting your inner fire. Motivation. It's that spark, that burst of energy that pushes you to take action, to get started, and to chase your dreams. We all experience it at some point, right? A moment when everything feels possible, when you feel invincible, like nothing can stand in your way. But here's the thing, motivation is fleeting. It's like a spark that ignites a fire, but then it fades. So what happens when that fire burns out? What happens when motivation leaves you and you're left in the quiet stillness, struggling to find the energy to keep going? We've all been there. We've all felt the weight of that moment when motivation fades and you're left wondering, what now? It's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to think, if I don't feel motivated, how can I keep moving forward? But here's the truth. Motivation isn't the key to success. Motivation is a great starting point, but it's not the driving force that will carry you to your destination. The true key to success isn't motivation, it's discipline. But before we dive into that, let's talk about the power of motivation and how it can be the fuel to ignite the fire inside you. Motivation is the force that gets you excited about your goals. It's the energy that makes you believe in yourself and in what you can achieve. When motivation hits, you feel like you can take on the world. It's the force that pushes you to take the first step, the first action toward your dreams. But here's the catch. Motivation doesn't last. It's not something you can rely on every day. It comes in waves, sometimes hitting you with full force, other times leaving you in the dark. So, what do you do when motivation fades? What do you do when you're standing in front of your goals feeling lost and uninspired? That's when discipline steps in. Discipline is the secret weapon that turns motivation into results. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when motivation has disappeared. Discipline is what gets you out of bed in the morning, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what keeps you focused, keeps you committed, even on the days when everything feels like an uphill battle. Motivation is the spark, but discipline is the fuel. It's the steady foundation you can rely on when everything else feels uncertain. Discipline is what makes success sustainable. It's what keeps you working day after day, no matter how many setbacks you face, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many distractions pull you away from your path. But let's go back to motivation for a moment. Motivation isn't bad. In fact, it's necessary. Motivation is what gets you started. It's what helps you take that first step toward your dreams. And that first step is crucial. Without motivation, you wouldn't have the energy to begin, to dream big, to set those ambitious goals. Motivation is what fuels your passion and gives you the drive to pursue something greater than yourself. Think about it for a moment. What's something you've been passionate about? What's a dream you've had for a long time? Maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's getting fit, or maybe it's writing a book. That dream started with motivation. It started with that spark of excitement, that belief that you could achieve something great. But what happens when the excitement fades? What happens when the days get tough, when the progress slows down, and when your motivation starts to wane? That's when discipline takes over. Discipline is what separates those who talk about their dreams from those who actually live them. It's the force that keeps you on track, even when the world around you is chaotic, even when the distractions are louder than ever. Discipline is what makes you show up every single day. It's what makes you put in the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's what makes you keep going, even when progress feels slow, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Discipline is what keeps your eyes on the prize, even when the journey feels endless. But don't be fooled. Discipline isn't always easy. It requires sacrifice. It requires hard work. It requires you to push through the moments when it feels like everything is against you. But the good news is that every time you show up, every time you take action, no matter how small, you're building momentum. You're building a habit. You're building a life that is aligned with your goals and your values. So, how do you keep that motivation alive? How do you stay committed to your goals when the initial excitement fades? Start with small actions. Small actions lead to big results. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you do need to start. Take one step today. Do something, anything, that moves you closer to your goal. Maybe it's sending that email you've been putting off. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk toward fitness. Maybe it's writing the first page of that book you've dreamed about. Whatever it is, take that first step. The key is to keep going. Even when motivation fades, even when you're not feeling inspired, keep moving forward. Every action you take brings you closer to your goal. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Remember, motivation is powerful, but it's temporary. Discipline is what makes the dream real. It's what turns that initial spark into a blazing fire. Discipline is what makes success possible, sustainable, and real. And here's the truth. You are capable of building that discipline. You are capable of creating habits that will carry you toward your goals, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You have everything you need within you right now. The power to achieve your goals, to create the life you want, is in your hands. It's in the actions you take every single day. So start today. Don't wait. Don't let procrastination or doubt hold you back. Start now. Let discipline be your guide. Let motivation be your spark. And let your actions be the bridge between where you are and where you want to be.